82 from all 51 here. Bet you're probably wondering what I've got a Mahindra for. And this Mahindra here has a personal connection. It belonged to my late father-in-law. It's a 1999 Mahindra 4505 direct injection, as you can see by the plate there on the side. Yeah, he passed away about 2 months ago, and really thought a lot of him, and like I say, he'll be missed. This tractor belonged to him. It never, he bought it, like I say, in 1999 or 2000, I think it was, and it never left that farm until about a month ago when I picked it up to bring it back here. And like I say, so I'll a few little things on this tractor we'll go through during the walkthrough, but I was just going to tell you that part. So like I say, it's a 1999 Mahindra 4505. It's the what they call the 05 series. Like I say, the DI, if you see up here on the nameplate, and you'll probably see it a little closer when we walk around, but stands for direct injection. A lot of these specs I got out of the manual. Like I say, I don't know much about this tractor. I'm learning a lot about it, going over it. I did operate it for him some, baling hay, and a few little things helping him around the farm. And let's see, but it was built in the Maharashtra. I'll put that on there for you, India, and I'm not sure if the plant. And I'll go into a little bit of the history after the walk around. It's got 2.5 liter 4-cylinder diesel. The I'm guessing Mahindra direct injection 2500 engine is what they have listed, is what the engine is. 154 cubic inches, so 43 horsepower, and the PTO has about 34 at 540. Dry disc brakes, and like I say, the weight on it's around about 4,070, about 4,100 pounds. Like I say, the tractor is in excellent condition. He was really good about maintenance, and really took care of his stuff. As you can see, it's a 1999, and you can see that, well, that comes from going through hay and stuff, but you can look at the tires and stuff on it, and you can tell it was really taken care of. And it stayed under a shelter, never was outside. If it did get any water on it, it was because he was on the way back to the shed. Never got rained on, and you can see just the pure, and it used to be a little bit redder than this. The sun does to you, so to the paint. And I haven't cleaned it up. It needs a good washing. It just stays dusty. Like I say, he didn't like to wash stuff as much. He'd rinse something off, but power washing, and like I say, you need to clean up stuff some, but he did, keep the dust off of it, keep the radiator blowed out, things like that. Regular maintenance. He was very good about that. He took pride in it. He did what he had to do, and didn't play around and up at 5, 6 in the morning, out taking care of the animals, doing whatever he had to do. So that's just the way he was. Like I say, he's going to be missed. So I'm going to do my best to keep this here and keep it up and maintain it and use it. Like I say, I'm probably going to use it bush hogging quite a bit. So this is going to be, it's a good little bush hogging tractor. I'd like to find a loader for it sometime. He had a loader on his other tractor, but this tractor here, take a note of how much it mimics the International B275 and the B414 and some other tractors that the British had. British built tractors at the Doncaster plant, I guess, or the Bradford plant, I guess it was. But Mahindra, and I'll go through the history because I've got a page on the computer that I've wrote out, and it has some other articles on the joint venture that International and the Mahindra company had together. So, but now we're going to go ahead and like I said, we'll take a quick walk around and I'll show you some things of the tractor, and then we may drive it a little bit around. All right, let's go ahead and do the walk around. All right, pardon the shadow, but if you keep up with Max Armstrong there, he's his thing is always put the sun behind you when you're filming the tractor or taking a picture of the tractor. It brings out that red paint, and may play a clip of him doing that. But the
light's a little better over on this side to light up the red paint. I always tell people, take pictures with the sun behind you.
Yeah,
because it lights up that red paint.
Anyway, this here's a 1999 Mahindra 4505 direct injection, as they want you to know. But it is like I say, it's a really good tractor, really strong built tractor. Like I say, I really had never paid much attention to the Mahindra stuff until I got to date my wife there, and then father-in-law had these two tractors. The more I read about them, the more I can tell I can see the similarities in the International. They really took some of the stuff from International. Like I say, here you have your injection pump on this side. You'll see some stuff on here that's a little modified. He had one thing about my father-in-law, he had his he had to have things a certain way. He would modify something to fit whatever he wanted. It might not look the best as far as the welding, but he made it work. This is a step that he had made. He made him a step, and I mean, he didn't have no way to, I don't think he wasn't strong enough to bend it, but what I may do is bend this out a little bit to give you kind of a step here, because it is kind of a leap here to get up there. I believe this was the PTO disconnect is what that was. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll double check on that. Clutch pedal, 2-stage clutch, and I've got a slight leak up here, I think, on this lift up here, but that's nothing bad. He said, well, you know, it's dirty. He said, don't power wash it, because, you know, that grease will keep it from leaking. So here you got your amp gauge, fuel gauge, a little hard to see, but you can see where it goes. Light switch, your battery indicator, tachometer. This tractor has 2,334 hours on it. Temperature, and your oil pressure. Parking brake, light switches, horn. I can't remember which one this one was. I have to think of it. I hadn't never touched that one. So there's your key switch. Here's his and there's a few little things I'll leave on here. That was his. This is his mask that he would always wear when he would bale hay. Gear shifter, 4-speed transmission, 1 reverse. Your kill switch, your high and low range. I believe this is the pump, speed on the pump. I'm not 100% sure. Like I say, I need to go over this. Your remote lever for your hydraulic remotes on the back. You'd run the baler with that. This is your PTO lever. Like I say, just a little peg here. Dry disc brakes. Like I say, you'll see a lot of stuff that's just like the Internationals. Now, I believe the B275s had the clamshell fenders, and it was, I don't know now, I can't remember. I have to find the pictures of it, but there's some few things that the Mahindra company changed on these tractors. It has some Apollo tires on here, and they are the 13.6/28. Like I say, you can see this tractor here. It's only got 23 or so hundred hours, whatever I said before, on it. He didn't believe in driving them very far down the road. Tires are very expensive, and you don't drive down the road unless you have to. Toolbox up here. These are your remotes. And like I say, he had a certain way he did things. This is old sock, and even though it has dust caps on it, and I better cover that up before he gets mad at me, but he wrapped the end of the remotes up to keep the dust out, and I see his point. Like I say, he had an old rag up here to wipe the end of the hoses off on the implement that you were hooking up, and like I say, just little things like that he he did. And if you use that tractor, you better make sure them remotes are wiped off good before you plug them in, because he didn't want any dust getting any contamination into the system. 3-point lift drawbar, and if you notice, it had an extra piece that come down here for a tongue, and he cut that off because whatever it was hitting something on the baler, and he didn't like it. It was in the way, so he cut that off. I may fix that, I may put it back, I don't know yet, but I may just leave that like it is. And it did not have a PTO guard. He took those off and put those under the shed because he did not, it was in the way when he was hooking up the implement. And I know you may say, well, that's not good to take it off, but it was in his way. He didn't, you know, he didn't need it. A lot of the old tractors didn't have it. And if you noticed here, the bars there, yes, it did have a canopy or a roll bar at one time, and he took that off because it would not fit under the shelter, and it was in his way. I don't know why he didn't unbolt them, but that's just the way what he did with that. Your top link here, like I say, he always tried to keep everything in good running order. He always kept grease on these here, and like I say, for that much use, it doesn't have hardly any wobble in it. Rear light, turn signals, and flashers and all that on there. And I may move these, I may dish swap these around and have them, like I say, this one on the left side and that one on the right side, to kind of, I want to bring them in just a little bit more, because they are, he's got it set out at 96, or I don't know, he's got them set out for whatever the planter he had in the baler. He's got it set at a certain, but I won't be baling with it that I know of anytime soon. So, but it is set out a little wide, and I'd like to bring it in a little bit more, because I'm gonna get a 6-foot. I'm gonna have a 6-foot bush hog for this. Let me say, if I ever find a loader for it, I'm gonna find a loader for it, and where I can move round bales and things like that. We do for the goats and things like that, and maybe load the dump trailer or something. But like I see here, the levers for the 3-point lift, parking brake, differential lock, brakes. And here's something I was working on the thing, and when I was checking some stuff over, greasing it, I don't know, what is this here? And if you can see underneath, it had a foot throttle, and he did not like the foot throttle because it was in the way, or he would step on it when he was trying to use the brakes, or he didn't like the foot throttle. He'd rather have it up here on the column, because that would stay where you put it, and that there, and he didn't use, I guess that would be better for loader work. Like I say, he didn't want that, so he cut it off. But like I said, there's Mahindra, and they got it stamped in there. Serial plate over here, 4505 serial number, and it's it says 579. Now, I don't know if they started, I don't think they started with 501. I don't know what number they started with, but I'll have to read that. It may, I know it's an earlier one from what I've been told. Napa gold filter, like I say, and the battery, that's another thing. The battery would fit right in here on the inside. There's a little compartment in there. It was set in here, and there's something, I think it was at the time, I don't know if the battery had, it would corrode up really bad. I don't know if it was the heat in there or what, but anyway, he built a little stand and put the battery out here. I don't know. It's just what he did. Serial number does match the block. Here's something I found that was interesting. The dipstick on here is this little teeny little, hard to get to, and it's very hard to, you know, you got to screw it out, but very hard. I don't understand why they did that. I would think it'd be they'd want it a little easier to hook to. Hydraulic pump here. He has had the radiator repaired at one time. He said it had a little leak and he had that fixed. There's the fan and all that inside. Power steering, of course. I do like the rib tires. I like the way they look, but like I say, he's taking, there's no dents in the oil pan whatsoever. But this tractor is, like I say, very, very, very close to the B275, B414. And they actually, one of the first models Mahindra come out with was a B275 of their own. Like I said, I've got some pictures of the joint venture of their first tractor. Like I say, Mahindra's a pretty big company, but it is a very solid built tractor. It is very simple built tractor. Nothing really complicated on it, and it's very handy. Turns excellent. It's pretty fast on the road. I've taken it down the road a time or two, and what you do is, this here has like these little tabs on the inside. And they just fit down in there. And I'm not going to take it off now, because this little latch on here, and you fold the hood forward. Of course, you got to pull the pipe back off. But that's another thing. He hated the muffler on it. Muffler was a little tall, but that right there is cut to the exact height where it'll fit under that shoulder within 3 or 4 inches or so, I guess, of hitting the rafter there, depending on how you go into the shed. So this side here, I took some rubbing compound, and kind of cleaned that side up a little bit. You can see the difference in the rest of the paint here. It did clean it up a lot, so I may go over it. Another thing in these old tractors, like I say, you know, this tractor his, and I'm not going to do a lot to it. I'm just going to keep it just like it was. But if you can see in some places up here, little rub places, where he would put his hand, especially over here, he would place his hand here to get on. If you can see here, this is where he would lay his arm when he was baling. He would constantly be turning, looking back, looking forward. You can see that. Little things like that people just don't really notice, that kind of just, you know, always, every time I look at little spots like this, I think of, you know, think of him and him driving the tractor. And like I said, that's a shifter knob for it, International. It had a funny looking shifter knob up here, and it broke or something, so he put this one on here. But your fuel tank, I can't think of how many it holds. I'll put it down below if I see it, but I really didn't pay much mind to it. But